Imagine having a secret power that makes you stand out from every other man. A technique so potent, so effective, that it borders on the forbidden. This isn't about pickup lines or fancy cars. It's about tapping into primal attraction triggers that most men don't even know exist. By the end of this video, you'll have insights that will transform how women perceive you. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. So are you ready to unlock the forbidden art of attraction? Let's start with the 9 techniques that will make you truly irresistible. 1. Become her greatest supporter. Here's a technique most guys never think about. Instead of trying to impress her, focus on making her feel impressive. This is called the Pygmalion effect. It's about believing in her potential and helping her see it too. This is how it works. Pay attention to her goals and dreams. Then show genuine interest and support. If she mentions wanting to start a business, ask her about her ideas. Encourage her to take steps towards it. Share resources or connections that might help her. When you believe in someone, they start to believe in themselves more. As she grows and achieves things, partly because of your support, she'll associate those good feelings with you. You become the person who brings out the best in her. That's incredibly attractive. Let's say she mentions wanting to run a marathon. Instead of just saying, "That's cool," you could say, "Wow, that's awesome. I bet you'd be great at that. Have you thought about which marathon you want to do?" Then maybe send her an article about training tips later. Show her you really believe she can do it. 2. Leave things unfinished. This next technique sounds strange, but it's super effective. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Basically, people remember unfinished things better than finished ones. You can use this to stay on her mind. In conversations, don't always wrap everything up neatly. Leave some things open-ended. For example, if you're telling a story, pause at an interesting point and say, "You know what? I'll tell you how that ends next time we meet." Or if you're texting, don't always be the one to end the conversation. Sometimes leave it at an interesting point. When something is unfinished, our brains keep working on it in the background. By creating these open loops, you're making sure she keeps thinking about you, even when you're not around. Let's say you're on a date and you mention a funny thing that happened at work. Start telling the story, get her interested, but then say, "Actually, the best part of that story requires some background. I'll tell you the full thing next time." Now she's curious and looking forward to the next date. This technique is powerful. It creates anticipation and keeps her engaged with you mentally, even when you're not physically present. 3. The misattribution of arousal. Create exciting situations. This technique is based on a psychological principle called misattribution of arousal. It's about creating exciting or mildly stressful situations that she'll associate with you. Plan dates or activities that get the heart racing a bit. This could be something adventurous like rock climbing, or even just watching a scary movie together. The key is to do something that creates a bit of excitement or tension. When we're in exciting or mildly stressful situations, our bodies release adrenaline. This can feel a lot like attraction. When she experiences these feelings around you, her brain might misattribute that arousal to you, making her feel more attracted. Instead of a regular coffee date, suggest something like an escape room. It's exciting, requires teamwork, and gets the blood pumping a bit. The shared experience of solving puzzles under time pressure can create a bond and a rush that she'll associate with you. Remember, you're not trying to scare her or make her uncomfortable. It's about creating fun, exciting experiences together. This ties positive, exciting feelings to being around you. 4. The pratfall effect, strategic imperfection. This next technique goes against what most dating advice tells you. It's called the pratfall effect, and it's about showing some imperfections strategically. Instead of trying to appear perfect all the time, allow yourself to make minor mistakes or show small flaws, especially after you've demonstrated competence. Believe it or not, people find others more likable and attractive when they show some imperfections. It makes you more relatable and human. Plus, it shows confidence. You're secure enough to not always be perfect. Let's say you've been impressing her with your knowledge about something. Then you could make a small, endearing mistake. Maybe you pronounce a word wrong and then laugh at yourself about it. Or if you're good at cooking, you could tell a story about a time you completely messed up a recipe. The key is to show these imperfections after you've already shown your strengths. And we're talking about small, harmless flaws, not major red flags. This technique makes you more approachable and real, which is actually more attractive than trying to be flawless. 5. Become a rare resource. This technique is based on the idea that people value things that are rare or hard to get. You can use this principle to make yourself more desirable. Instead of always being available, create some scarcity in your availability. This doesn't mean playing hard to get or ignoring her. It's about having a full, interesting life that doesn't revolve around her. When you're not always available, it makes the time you do spend together more valuable. Plus, it creates a bit of mystery about what you're doing when you're not with her. Don't always be free when she wants to meet. Have your own plans and activities. When you do make plans, be fully present and engaged. But don't rearrange your whole life for her, especially early on. For example, if she asks to hang out on Friday, you might say, "Friday's no good. I've got plans with friends, but I'm free Sunday and would love to see you then." This shows you have a life, but you're also interested in seeing her. This shows you're a person of value with your own life and interests. It makes her work a bit to be part of your life, which makes her value your time more. 6. The reciprocal liking effect. Show selective interest. This one uses a principle called reciprocal liking. Basically, we tend to like people who we think like us. Instead of showering her with attention and compliments right away, show interest more selectively. Notice and appreciate specific things about her that others might miss. When you show interest in specific, unique things about her, it feels more genuine. She'll feel truly seen and appreciated, which makes her more likely to be interested in you in return. Instead of just saying you're beautiful, you might say, "I noticed how your eyes light up when you talk about your work. It's clear you're really passionate about what you do." This shows you're paying attention to who she is, not just how she looks. Another way to use this: ask her opinion on something and really listen to her answer. Then, show that you value her input. This makes her feel respected and liked for her mind, which can create a strong attraction. This technique goes beyond surface-level attraction. It creates a deeper connection based on genuine appreciation and understanding. 7. The commitment and consistency principle. Small commitments lead to bigger ones. This technique uses the psychological principle that people like to be consistent with their past actions and commitments. Start by getting small commitments or agreements from her, then gradually build up to bigger ones. Why is it effective? When someone commits to something small, they're more likely to follow through with bigger commitments later. It's about creating a pattern of saying yes to you. Here is a practical application. Start with small, easy requests. Maybe ask her opinion on something, or ask for a small favor. For example, "Hey, I'm looking for a new book to read. You seem to have great taste. Any recommendations?" If she gives you a recommendation, she's invested a little bit in your happiness. Later, you can build on this. "I love that book you recommended. I'm trying to decide between 2 restaurants for dinner this weekend. Would you mind helping me choose?" Now you're indirectly moving towards spending time together. This creates a pattern of positive interactions. Each small yes makes the next one more likely. It's a gentle way of building a connection and moving towards a relationship. 8. The peak end rule. Create memorable moments. This technique is based on the psychological principle that people judge an experience largely based on how they felt at its most intense point and at its end, rather than the average of every moment of the experience. Focus on creating a standout moment during your time together and end on a high note. By creating peak moments and positive endings, you ensure that her overall memory of time spent with you is positive, even if not every moment was perfect. Plan dates with a peak moment, something exciting, unusual, or particularly enjoyable. For example, if you're on a dinner date, you could arrange a surprise dessert or have the chef come out to talk about a special dish. Always try to end interactions on a positive note. Even if it's just a text conversation, try to close with something that makes her smile or look forward to the next interaction. This is effective because it shapes her memory of experiences with you. By focusing on creating great moments and positive endings, you become associated with good feelings and memories. 9. The shared identity effect. Create a unique bond. This final technique is about creating a shared identity or inside jokes that are unique to your relationship. Develop shared experiences, language, or jokes that are special to the two of you. This creates a sense of us versus them. Having a shared identity creates a strong bond. It makes her feel like she has something special with you that she doesn't have with anyone else. Create nicknames for each other based on a shared experience. Or develop inside jokes based on things that happen when you're together. Reference these in your conversations. For example, if you both love a particular TV show, you might start using quotes from it in your everyday conversations. Or if something funny happens on a date, turn it into a running joke between you two. This technique is effective because it creates a special world that only the two of you share. It makes your relationship feel unique and valuable, strengthening the connection between you. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comments section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.